Chicago Bulls went into Denver last night and beat the Nuggets in an unreal basketball game. So coming up on today's edition of the Bulls Report, we're going to be discussing some great and some bad news following that loss. My name is Patrick Siepman. Now, I do want to start off today's show discussing my fandom because I have been circulating amongst Bears Twitter users because of a couple of highlights that went viral when I was doing my watch party for the Minnesota Vikings. And a lot of people were saying, wait, I thought this guy was a Bulls fan. Why is he rooting for the Vikings? So just to kind of clear the air here, I was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but I grew up in Chicago, and my dad was a diehard Vikings fan. So I took that. But besides that, I'm a Bulls guy. I'm a Chicago Cubs guy over the White Sox. Sorry, the White Sox fans out there. And I'm also a Chicago Blackhawks guy as well. But I am a diehard Bulls fan. Like, just make that crystal clear. Love this basketball team. I've loved them since, the Kirk Heinrich, Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, Boozer, Joakim Noah, like Ronnie Brewer, like all those guys back in the day in the late 2000s. So I am a diehard Bulls fan, but if you guys see me doing some Vikings content, just want to make that pretty crystal clear to you guys. I am, unfortunately, a Vikings fan, and I know a lot of you guys are Bears fans watching today's show, but just want to have full transparency here. Not going to try to fake it, act like I'm a Bears fan. I'm not going to lie, I can't stand the Bears, but I'm sure you guys can't stand the Vikings as well. But coming up, we'll discuss the great and the bad news, but if you guys could, hit that subscribe button today. Trying to hit 14,000 subscribers. We're just 251 of you guys away from reaching that milestone. So if you guys want to help me out, a diehard Bulls fan, hit that subscribe button today and help us reach 14K. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably aren't going to love what I'm going to have to say here. And I do think there's some bad news over the Bulls, winning a big-time game in Denver. Now, I think the game was fantastic. We'll discuss the game here in a second, but I think it is pretty certain that the Bulls will be a play-in team yet again this season, and this season is setting up for the Bulls to yet again finish with a 39-43 record for the third straight season and make the play-in tournament for the fifth straight year. And right now, the Bulls, they are in the play-in tournament. They're the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. You got the Detroit Pistons on a 10-game winning streak. They're 12-2. Then you got the Cavs. Actually, the Raptors, they have won 8 of 9, so they've been crazy hot. The Atlanta Hawks, they're set up for success, man. They have the New Orleans Pelicans, unprotected first-round pick, so they're going to be good in the East for the next couple of years. But you got the Knicks, the Sixers, the Heat, and then you got the Bulls, Bucks, and Magic. Now, also, the Celtics are the 11th seed right now with the same record as the Magic, but through the early tiebreakers, they're listed on this graphic. Now, I will say, even though the Bulls are stuck in purgatory, and I still think that's bad. Like, that's the worst spot to be in all of sports, but specifically the NBA. But this does feel different because it's not like you're doing it with a bunch of proven guys. Like the Zach LaVine, Vooch, DeMar DeRozan era. Like, that drove me crazy because it's like that's kind of their maxed out potential. Now, with this young Bulls team with Buzelis, Giddey, Io, Trey Jones, even throw a Kobe White in there, like they're a young, hungry, fun team to watch. So even though they are still in purgatory, it has a different feeling than what it was in years past. But why I also think this is bad news, guys, the 2026 draft class, it is potentially going to be the best draft class of all time. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. We have heard this for years, leading up to this point where you got guys like Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, AJ DeBanza, this guy in Virginia Tech looks like a 6'10 Luka. I mean, you legitimately in this draft, I'm not even trying to BS you guys, you probably have 7 to 8 like franchise-altering players. Like, even they were saying, like, the big three in this class, DeBanza, Peterson, and Boozer, like, they would have competed last year with Cooper Flagg for the number 1 pick. I mean, Darren Peterson looks like a carbon copy of Kobe Bryant. Cam Boozer looks like a carbon copy of Paolo Banchero. And then AJ DeBanza, the guy looks like Tracy McGrady. So, like, all three of those guys, I think, have unreal potential. So, the 2026 draft class is absolutely stacked. So, I would like the Bulls to get a higher pick there, and I just think they're going to be kind of slotted into that play-in tournament yet again. But I will say, the Bulls, in my opinion, they got 3 untouchables on the roster, and these 3 are so much fun to watch. And this is why it does feel different than years past, because you're doing it with young guys, you're doing it with guys that are hungry, and guys that can get better. That being Buzelis, Dosunmu, and Josh Giddey. Dosunmu was absolutely awesome yesterday. And we'll talk about the game here in the second half of today's show, but he's a young, great guard. Buzelis still looks great. Josh Giddey looks fantastic. But the one thing about the Bulls, like, kind of young core, they really have no true bucket getters. And that's where, like, if I had to get my dream draft pick for the Bulls, give me a guy like Darren Peterson or AJ DeBanza, a guy you can throw kind of grenades to at the end of the shot clock, and they can get in their bag, make a quick move, get to their pull-up jump shot or whatever it is. Because even late in that fourth quarter against the Nuggets yesterday, The Bulls just have nobody with an in-between game. It's either Giddey to the rim, spamming spin moves, but they really don't have a guy you can toss it to, which I will say, that is one part of the game where Buzelis, I want him to develop that because we saw Jokic, when he was matched up on him, they would just drop Jokic back, and he's just trying to get to the cup because he doesn't feel comfortable operating in the mid-range. So they need some more true bucket getters, but the good news on today's show, I already said I was wrong about Josh Giddey. I am even more wrong. This guy is absolutely fantastic, and I've never flipped my kind of take on a guy as quickly as I have. This guy truly is, I think, one of the better point guards in the NBA. He is carrying this Bulls team this year. I don't think the Bulls have a lot of talent. I think Josh Giddey is making all of his teammates look so much better than they actually are, and I truly think like he can be a second or third best player on a championship team. He is that good. He's also defending this year. He's hitting the glass. His playmaking ability is unreal, almost averaging a triple-double this season. I mean, his numbers, you guys see, they're absolutely ridiculous. 34.5 minutes per game, almost averaging 22 a night. Three-point ball hasn't been falling over the last couple of weeks, but still, if Giddey, like if you told me at the end of the season, this guy's shooting 35% from three, I mean, I'll take that. And these are all-star level numbers from Giddey. 22, 10, 9.5, efficient from the field, and also efficient from beyond the arc. And that's also why, like, I truly believe this. I don't think this Bulls team has a bunch of talent. Like, I think maybe there's 3 or 4 guys where I'm like, okay, those are, franchise guys. Like, those are winning basketball players. Io, Buzelis, Giddey, and Kobe White you could even throw in there. But Giddey's making even guys like, the Bulls. Listen, they were running in that fourth quarter last night. It was Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, Javon Carter minutes. And they were still able to win a game against the second-best team in the NBA in the Denver Nuggets. Now, I'll say the Bulls have kind of owned Denver. Owned the Nuggets in Denver over the last couple of years, 4-1 over the last 5 seasons. So they actually have the most wins in Denver out of any NBA team, which is an unreal stat. Probably some random trivia if you guys need for your personal life. But Giddey's just awesome. Like, I can't get over this guy. He beats guys off the dribble. His spin move is absolutely unreal in the lane. He's a perfect passer. And, listen, I was a shooter growing up. I played the 2-guard spot. If I could pick any guard in the league to play with, it would be like Giddey or Halliburton. Like, these guys are that good. He gets his teammates open looks, and he just makes everybody flat out better. And I think he should be an all-star. Honestly, I think with how bad this Bulls team overall is, the fact that they're 7-6 with Josh Giddey as their best player, that is a credit to number 3. He's just awesome, man. I have never been more wrong about a guy. So if you guys could, let me know your thoughts. Will Josh Giddey be an all-star this season? Now, we'll talk about that game coming up here in a second, but this episode is brought to you guys by PrizePicks. Now, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the excitement this basketball season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Now, PrizePicks offers stacks. You can pick up to the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you guys want to pick more on Steph Curry's points, 3-pointers, and assists, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. You guys can also follow the PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Link for that will be in the comment section and description of today's show. So let's talk about this Bulls-Nuggets game here. Bulls were up 15 throughout majority of it was around tied at half. Bulls took a big third quarter lead. Nuggets ended up fighting back, but the Bulls ended up closing the door here. And Josh Giddey was amazing yesterday. Hit the glass really well, 14 rebounds, only took 12 shots. He was 21, 6, and 14. Just getting his teammates open looks, man. He probably should have had 13 assists last night if guys were making more open jumpers, but this guy's just absolutely unreal. Shout out to number 3. And then also shout out to Io DeSumo. Guy probably had the most efficient basketball game I've ever seen in my life. 21 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 8 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. And the thing I love about Io, obviously him being from Chicago, he plays like a Chicago guard, where he is just trying to get to the rim over and over again. And also what I love about him, you have seen him add muscle on his frame every single offseason. Like, he's absolutely yoked right now. Like, there was a play, he started flexing after, and I'm like, dude, Io looks like he could bench 300 pounds. Guy's just a freak athlete, great basketball player, plays the game the right way. And even though Buzelis was a little, inefficient from the field yesterday, missed a couple of easy ones, I still love the pressure he puts on the rim. I thought he had a really good game as well, even though the shooting numbers weren't too fantastic, but I thought he was pretty good. Listen, I would love to get up on here and rip Vooch for his performance yesterday, but he also had that clutch three late. And this guy, I mean, the Nuggets were begging him to take these threes. He was missing them all night, but then he finally hit one at the end. I will give Vooch credit. He's a very underrated passer, but the negative side of Vooch is this guy could not hold Jokic to save his life. Nikola Jokic, man, he probably should have had 50 in this game. He missed a couple of shots that Jokic has been hitting all year. Just getting to his spot. He's 1 of 7 from 3. Bulls kind of caught a break there, but Jokic was unbelievable. I mean, 36, 18, and 13. Think about that stat line. 36 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists. He had an off night, and that was his stat line. Truly the best player in the world by a wide margin. His running mate, though, Jamal Murray, he was cooking, especially late in that fourth quarter. Kind of sparked the Nuggets comeback. So he was a tough guard for the Bulls guards in that game last night. But, hey, you got to win in Denver. Positive. I like it. Young core is looking good. I'm just a little nervous this team's going to win 39 games for a third straight season. So if you guys made it to the end, hit me with those C-Reds down below in the comment section. We'll get on out of here. As always, go Bulls.